It happened last year when we had 7 finalists vying for the grand prize, M Grand 7 2021 model worth 11.5 million naira.
For the winner, Season 1, Niger Boss Fighter, John Idachele!
This year, it is even bigger and better.
My name is Joel Idachele, the winner of Niger Boss Factor Season 1. Those of you that didn't enroll, I'm sorry, you have missed out big time. You scammed yourself. You think they were trying to scam you.
Register for the Niger Boss Factor Season 2 with the sum of 5,500 naira payable to GT Bank account number 0561 094 161. Send payment proof to WhatsApp portal number 0901 625 2525. Go to www.bossfm.ng to complete your registration. Call 0808 237 0000 or 0811 584 1500 for more information.
Good evening and welcome to World Now at 4. I am Ainan Lubem. First, the headlines. On the headlines, FG Lagos to earn $201 billion from Lekki Port. On the foreign scene, Al-Shabaab claims deadly attack on AU base. On the international scene, Pope Japan PM discuss hopes for nuclear-free world. On sports, Roman Abramovich makes £1.6 billion demand for Chelsea sale. And now the news in detail. Nigeria's Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, has said the federal government of Nigeria and the Lagos state government will earn a total revenue of over $201 billion in 45 years when the Lekki Deep Sea Port becomes fully operational. The minister stated this in Lagos when he undertook a tour of the $1.53 billion mega project today. Accompanied by heads of parastatals under the Ministry of Transportation, Mohammed expressed joy at the quality of work done, assuring that the port will become operational in the last quarter of 2022. According to him, when the Deep Sea project is fully operational, it will create 169,972 jobs and bring revenues totaling $201 billion to state and federal government through taxes, royalties, and duties. The direct and induced business revenue on the manufacturing, trade, and commercial services sector, describing the project as a game changer. The minister added that the port boasts of $800 million on construction alone, stressing that the aggregate impact has been put at $361 billion in 45 years, which will be over 200 times the cost of building. The Lekki Deep Sea Port covers a land area of 90 hectares, which makes it the largest in the West African sub-region. The Center for Democracy and Development, that is CDD, has said that at least 60,000 people have been killed in Nigeria's 18 northern states in the last 10 years due to insecurity. In a new report by CDD titled Multiple Nodes, Common Course, National Stock Take and of Contemporary Insecurity and State Responses in Nigeria, the CDD said in the northwestern states of Jigawa, Kaduna, Kano, Kebbi, Sokoto, and Zamfara, about 14,000 people lost their lives between 2011 and 2020. The report, which was signed by CD Director Idayat Hassan, said the report also measured conflict-related casualties in the north-central states of the Federal Capital Territory, that is FCT, Kogi, Kwara, Nasarawa, Niger and Plateau states revealed that around 11,000 people were killed in the period under review, while about 35,000 people were killed in northeast states of Adamawa, Bauchi, Borno, Gombe, Taraba and Yobe, tracing similar development and casualties across other geopolitical zones. CDD in the report disclosed that similar development continue to fuel the ugly situation, especially lack of education, absence of state actors, economic war, security forces, cultism, land use disputes, ethnicity, religion, failure of justice system, overstretched security forces, and others. As the world marks World Press Freedom Day, Senator Aliyu Wanmaku has called on media practitioners in Nigeria to uphold justice, fairness and balance in their reportage. The lawmaker's message was anchored on the theme of the year 2022 celebration, Journalism under Digital Siege, stressing the need for professionals to confront the surveillance and digitally mediated attacks on journalists and their work. He urged practitioners in both the print and electronic media industry to launch a special offensive against fake news pervading the internet in order to stem the spread of false news. Wamaku, however, commended practitioners in the Nigerian media industry who have stuck to the professional ethics of fairness and balance in their reportage. He further urged media practitioners in general to rededicate themselves to reporting authentic news at all times and leave behind exemplary legacies for the next generation of Nigerian journalists to build upon. Emir of Zazzau, Malam Ahmed Nuhu Bamali, has allegedly suspended 4 district heads and a member of the Kaduna State House of Assembly for organizing thugs and those with the spiritual power to prevent any sharp metal from cutting their skin to disrupt public peace. The media and publicity officer to the Emirate, Abdullahi Aliyu Kwabai, in a statement said the action of the district head violated a standing order against such and therefore they were suspended with immediate effect. The Emir further read the Riot Act on the district head after the Eid al-Fitr Salah festivities in Zaria. He listed those suspended as Uban Garin Zazzau and district head of Soba, Bashir Shehu Idris Sarkin Dajin Zazzau, and district head of Kubau, Alaji Shehu Umar Aliyu Wadkalin Birin Zazzau, and member Kaduna State House of Assembly representing Zaria constituency, Suleiman Ibrahim Dabu, and Garkuwan Kudu Zazzau, and Bursa FCE Zaria, Mohammed Sani Wais. According to the statement, the district head violated Article 3 of the Emirate Rules and Regulations governing Durban horse riding. The rule directs all title holders against the use of local thugs, known as Yan Tauri, brandishing local weapons during any occasion, but the 4 district heads have violated this rule during the traditional Salah Duba, despite series of warnings. When we return, news from other parts of Africa. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. You're still watching World Now at 4 on Hughes TV. On Africa, Senegal's President Macky Sall has said the plans to regulate social media in the West African nation, describing it as a real cancer of modern societies. Political tensions during local elections in January led to fears of widespread violence via online mobilization, which followed the case last year of the main opposition leader, Ousmane Sonko, who was accused of rape. His arrest led to rare mass anti-government protest in which at least 13 people were killed and several others injured. The protest over Ousmane Sonko reflected broader economic discontent among the youth. Image captioned, "The protest over Sonko reflected broader economic discontent among the young." Journalists also spoke out about receiving online and physical abuse for reporting the rape allegations. There are fears that legal measures could be used to crack down on youth using social media to mobilize demonstrations against Sal's administration. Al-Shabaab jihadists armed with guns and explosives have stormed an African Union base in Somalia, triggering a fierce firefight that killed Burundian peacekeepers. A high-ranking Burundian military officer said about 30 soldiers were killed and another 22 wounded, while a dozen were missing. Al-Shabaab, which has been waging a deadly insurgency against Somalia's fragile central government for more than a decade, claimed responsibility, saying it had taken control of the camp and claimed to have killed 173 soldiers. Somalia's government said it condemns the attack targeting ATMIS and appealed to the international community to do more to support Somali forces and the ATMIS in effectively combating terrorism. The transmission, made up of troops from Burundi, Djibouti, Ethiopia, Kenya and Uganda, is tasked with helping Somali forces take primary responsibility for security in a country that has been marred in a conflict since 1991. We now move to other parts of the world. After this break, don't go away. You're still watching World Now at 4 on Hills TV. Welcome. And now to other parts of the world. Mexico is preparing to address the prospect of more migrants crossing the country once the United States lifts immigration restrictions put in place in response to the pandemic. Mexico's foreign minister said on Tuesday U.S. President Joe Biden's administration revealed in April it planned to end the public health order as Title 42, which allows the expulsion of migrants to prevent the spread of COVID-19 on May 23, although a federal judge recently blocked the plan from proceeding. The Department of Homeland Security, that is DHS, said earlier that its chief, Alejandro Mayorkas, had discussed the U.S. government's strategy for ending the policy and called Title 42 in a meeting with Ebrard. However, when asked whether Biden's plans to unwind the policy would be sufficient, Ebrard said he needed to review the full proposal and underscored that Mexico would not loosen on migration controls. Pope Francis and the Prime Minister of Japan, the only country to be hit by atomic bombs, met on Wednesday and discussed their common hope for a world free of nuclear weapons. Francis and Fumio Kishida met for about half an hour in a receiving room of the Vatican's audience hall, just before Francis held his general audience for thousands of people in St. Peter's Square. Vatican spokesman Matteo Bruni disclosed that the talks of nuclear weapons and how their use and possession is inconceivable. A separate Vatican statement said that in discussions afterwards with top Vatican diplomats, particular attention was given to the war in Ukraine, stressing the urgency of dialogue and peace and expressing the hope to this end for the world free of nuclear weapons. A Dominican diplomat was kidnapped in Haiti and released after 4 days, the Dominican Republic's foreign minister said on Monday in an abduction that coincides with a spike in gang violence in the Caribbean country. Carlos Guillén, an attaché for the Dominican embassy, went missing on Friday as he was driving from Port-au-Prince to the Dominican border town of Jimani, prompting the Dominican military to reinforce border surveillance. Haiti has seen nearly 2 weeks of bloody gang turf wars in areas near the capital of Port-au-Prince that have killed at least 20 people. Gangs have steadily boosted their power since the July assassination of President Jovenel Moïse. On business, according to the Central Bank of Nigeria, that is CBN data, the debt owed to Nigerian banks by operators in the power sector rose by 12.83% in 1 year to 861.14 billion naira in the December 2021 amid the lingering problems plaguing the sector since it was privatized over 8 years ago. Journalists had reported in July 2020 that the core investors in the distribution companies were looking to restructure the loans advanced to them by banks for the acquisition of the power sectors. In November 2013, the nation's distribution and generation companies were privatized through the Bureau of Public Enterprises, fetching about $3.2 billion for the federal government, as the Discos and Gencos were sold for $1.7 billion and $1.5 billion respectively. The federal government of Nigeria officially privatized the 6 successor power generation companies and 11 distribution firms that were unbundled from the defunct Power Holding Company of Nigeria. Still talking into business, OPEC Plus is set to agree another small increase in production targets for June delegates from the group, as expectation that sanctions will crimp Russian output further counter demand growth concerns from Chinese lockdowns. OPEC Plus ministers are set to meet on Thursday and are expected to agree to raise production targets by 432,000 barrels per day for June, 4 OPEC Plus delegates told newsmen at a meeting. The OPEC Plus meeting this week comes against the backdrop of a major announcement from the European Union, which on Wednesday proposed a phased oil embargo on Russia in its toughest measures yet to punish Moscow for its wars on Ukraine. OPEC now expects 2022 world oil demand to expand by 3.67 million barrels per day in 2022, down to 480,000 barrels per day from its previous forecast. And Barkindo said the Chinese lockdowns were curbing use of transport fuels and petrochemical feedstock. The EU has proposed some of its toughest measures yet against Russia, including a total ban on all import sanctions on war crime suspects. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said the package was aimed at maximizing pressure on Russia while minimizing damage to Europe. She also revealed that Russian crude oil would be phased out within 6 months, while military officers involved in the suspected war crimes in the EU has been focusing for weeks on how to wean itself off Russian oil and gas. It has already pledged to reduce gas imports by 2/3 by the end of 2022 and now plans to phase out crude oil over 6 months and refined products by the end of 2022. The package first has to be approved by the EU ambassadors and is set to be signed off in the next few days. Slovakia and Hungary, which currently rely on Russian oil, will be given an extra year to find alternative suppliers. Hungarian Foreign Minister Peter Szijjártó said Budapest could not support the package in its current form, while Slovakia's economy minister said his country wanted a 3-year transition period. Czech's Prime Minister Petr Fiala said he would also seek a 2 to 3 year exemption to tackle with problems with pipeline capacity. Still to come on World Now at 4 at Sports.
My name is Joel Idajile, the winner of Naija Boss Factor Season 1. I just want to say I'm so excited because, wow, this is a very big thing that has happened to me. And concerning this Season 2 that is coming, I'm just telling you, those that are going to be competing, bring in your A game. This is not something you come casually. Come with your A game, come for it. And Season 2 is up. Those of you that didn't enroll, I'm sorry, you have missed out big time. You scammed yourself. You think they were trying to scam you, but you scammed yourself. Thank you.
So, Boss FM 95.5, Abuja carry this one. Say if you sabi sing, you sabi rap. You dey cook, you sabi cook. You dey shop, you sabi chop.
A very good evening and welcome to Sports News on World Now at 4. I am Richard Badung. On the news this evening, former chairman Adamawa United, Emmanuel Zira, has called on the league management company, that is LMC, to put the 2021-2022 Nigeria Professional Football League season on hold. Zira's statement came on the heel of violence at different match venues in the league, with the latest in Ilorin and Lagos. Findings has showed that the game between Kwara United and Rivers United was marred by off-pitch incidents in Ilorin, while the game involving Mountain of Fire and Miracle Football Club and Enugu Rangers saw the match official being manhandled by a fan in Lagos State. Despite several fines and bans by the LMC on clubs to curb the menace, violence continues to rock various match venues across the country. Zita suggested that the season be put on hold to allow the league governing body to look for a solution to the violent acts. Way from the LMC now to Nigeria's under-20 girls Falconets will on Thursday know their opponents they would have to deal with in the group stage of the year's FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup finals as the draw ceremony takes place at the Teatro Nacional in San Jose, in the capital of Costa Rica. All the 16 participating countries at the tournament, scheduled for August 10 to 28, are now known, with Nigeria's Falconets and Ghana's Black Maidens to fly Africa's flag. This was contained in a statement by the Nigeria Football Federation spokesperson, Ademola Olajire, earlier today. Only 4 countries, Germany, Brazil, USA, and Nigeria, have played in all editions of the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup since the competition was launched as Under-19 Championship in Canada 20 years ago, and Nigeria has played twice in the finals. Ghana, Africa's other flag bearers, have reached the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup on 5 previous occasions, crashing out at group stage each time. This year's finals will be played at the same 2 venues that hosted the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup in 2014, Estadio Nacional in San Jose and the Moreiro Solo Stadium in Alajuela. Away from Nigeria matters now, South African tennis star Kevin Anderson, a 2-time Grand Slam finalist and former world number 5, is set to retire from the sport at the age of 35. He is currently ranked 107th in the world. The Johannesburg native announced his retirement through Twitter on Tuesday. The tall server at 6 feet 3 inches lost the 2017 US Open final to Rafael Nadal and then in 2018 Wimbledon to Novak Djokovic. Anderson won 7 singles tournaments on the ATP Tour and managed to remain ranked in the top 10 between early 2018 and the summer of 2019, before suffering several injuries and undergoing surgery. A month ago, the South African, who was still in the top 100, was knocked out in the second round of the Miami tournament by Argentines Juan Manuel in 3 sets. Anderson, who has been a professional since 2007, has earned more than $17 million in prize and singles and doubles during his professional career, according to the World Tour's official website. Away from tennis now to football, where the sale of English side Chelsea Football Club has hit a serious obstacle over concerns about the owner Roman Abramovich, who is trying to withdraw his promise to write off 1.6 billion euros worth of debt. The Premier League side have told the government and the prospective buyers that they wish to change the structure of purchase so that debt from the club's parent company will be repaid. Instead of paying Chelsea's linked Potsdam Limited, the club now wishes for money to be sent to Kambali International Investments, a firm that appears to be connected to Abramovich. The UK government sanctioned the Russian oligarch and will allow the club to be sold under the condition that he should not receive any money from the sale. Ministers have been under the belief that all earnings from the deal would be handed to the government, which will then supplement the victims of the war in Ukraine. Away from Chelsea now to the UEFA Champions League. After becoming the first coach in history to win all 5 of Europe's top 5 leagues, Carlo Ancelotti can enter the record books again if his Real Madrid side see off Manchester City in the second leg semi-final encounter of the UEFA Champions League. Real's 4-0 win over Espanyol on Saturday put him alone in managerial history in leading teams from Serie A, the Premier League, League One, the Bundesliga, and of course the Spanish La Liga to league titles. The 62-year-old is already the first man to lead 4 different clubs to the Champions League semi-finals, and with the side trailing Manchester City 4-3 from the first leg at the Etihad Stadium, needs only a slight chance in fortunes to reach the final, which could make him the first manager to do so 5 times. 8 years on from last lifting the European Cup, tonight's game in Madrid offers him the opportunity to move within 90 minutes of adding a 5th winner's medal to his collection, which would earn him another record in itself. And that's your sport news on World Now at 4. Back to Aidan Lubem for the rest of the news. I am Richard Badum.
Welcome back. You're still watching World Now at 4.